Sir, the next item, as you announced in your speech, is a requirement that federal workers return to full-time in-person work immediately.
I don't care if you work from home or you work at your work. But if somebody is leasing a building and you have to fill it and you have to maintain it and you have to heat it and all that mumbo jumbo stuff, I don't know.
That's a damn shame.
So my husband's a federal teleworker, which is different than a remote worker. He's been working from home since 2014. His program was signed off on by Congress. There's a union that has the telework as part of their collective bargaining rights. And we got an email in the night that we have to move. We have to move our whole lives from New Mexico to we don't know where yet. We don't know if it's going to be DC. We don't know if it's going to be a remote office in Denver or somewhere. And I just feel really sick about it. This is deeply inhumane. We have kids in schools.
It is sad. It's not inhumane. It doesn't sound like your job was always remote. That's what I'm trying to say. If it is, it's unfair. If it wasn't, it's not inhumane. You went over there, put your kids in school and assume it would stay there forever. That's a whole different story.
We have a house that we love. We have a community that we love. Our whole lives are here. And I mean, this is, not the level of trauma that migrants and queer folks are feeling right now, but
first of all, that's not me laughing. That was a clip I cut from somebody else. But the point is, when people talk about the sympathetic defense, I do think they're honest with certain information they apply because they think the empathetic defense is enough.
And I don't know what we're gonna do. By the way, this is exactly how they want us to feel. They want us to feel just a deep sense of dread. They want us to feel completely overwhelmed by finding new schools for our children, finding housing on very short notice, because it's just a game to them. They want my husband to quit. And that sucks because he is one of the best employees in his agency. He works for the American people.
If your husband is so good that he was allowed to work remote, he can use that also as a credential to find a new job. And secondly, I can understand your husband fell under the radar because certain people are taking advantage of that, while a lot of other federal agents are sucking all the money by chilling. I don't know. You're asking way more than you think.
But this isn't just about migrants. This isn't just about like gender issues. It's not even about reproductive rights. It is about control and power over American families, period. The end. It doesn't matter who you are, what you believe, what your choices are. They are coming for all of us.
I don't understand how you can say it doesn't matter because of those reasons, but you mention it. That's like me saying I'm not making this video because I'm black, but remember I'm black. Don't have sympathy because I don't have a lot in life, but I have one eye.
You guys, OPM last night published a memorandum that said that all federal employees have to work 5 days a week starting next week. It was dated yesterday, but I don't know how late it came out because we would have found out about it sooner. No later than 5 p.m. on Friday, January 24th. That's tomorrow. They have to revise their telework policies, and telework policies, I'm pretty sure, get implemented right away. It says agencies should advise OPM on the date of the agency will be in full compliance with the telework policy, so they get to report what they're going to do, which is, okay, that's good. But if an employee's official duty station is more than 50 miles away, so if anyone works fully remote for the government, they have to be moved or they have to move offices. That's crazy. Terminate remote work arrangements and require employees to return to in-person work at their respective duty stations on a full-time basis, provided that they make exceptions as they deem necessary. unless excused due to disability, qualifying medical condition, or other compelling reason certified by the agency head or employee supervisor. 5 days a week in person.
That's normal.
They're paying for somewhere that you could work. So unless you want them to stop paying and everybody can work from home and be 100% in the quality that they provide, yeah, they're going to have to change that over time. Remember to subscribe.
The day with a full-time paralegal who hates her job and a part-time small business owner who's in over her head in trying to be a full-time fashion stylist and content creator. Yes, I actually did this right when I woke up, so that is my real hair. So after I check my email in the morning, it's time to take a shower and fix my hair. Usually Fridays are chill for me in my full-time job, so I get to like spend the day working on my small business or anything else that I feel like doing. But actually today was super chaotic because I had to do so much for both my full-time job and my small business. And on top of that, I had to go to a fashion networking event that night for DC Fashion Week, so there was a lot going on. I had so much work to do for the small business, and this is me being really pissed, having to put away my personal laptop and take out my work laptop because I'm still being paid to do this job. And this is me on the phone with my work husband as we rant about how annoying it is to work with some people. But that's an aside. I do like my job a lot. It's just really boring right now, and I think I would prefer to be doing fashion styling at the moment, so I don't know. But after I did a bunch of work, I had to go like do my eyebrows and like get ready for this fashion event. Can we take a moment for my engagement ring that my fiance just got me? Okay, for real, so there's something so frustrating about having to work a full-time job when your heart's not in it, and like what, especially when you have ADHD and your brain hinges on the important.
Everybody stop! Hold up!
And that is why I'm gonna stop the video right here, but you get what the heck is happening. You can't do a job and be angry. I don't have time for my small-time job next to me. Like, whoa, I thought you were complaining about doing the job, but you're doing another one in secret.
Well, it happens. What a way to end the week. 5 o'clock on a Friday. Got our notice. Effective March 10th. We're back in the office 5 days a week. No telework. And that's the most fucked up thing, is not only did you issue this executive order, Cheeto, but the executive order trumps, pun intended, and rescinds any previously agreed upon telework agreements. So before, I was able to telework once a week when I was in the office every day. Now no mores. I am so upset. I am so mad. And honestly, I also feel for the parents. They're going to need to figure out childcare. They're going to have to commute. So many people don't live in DC and have to drive so far every single day. Like, this fucking sucks. This sucks. And the crazy thing is, we've only just begun. We're just getting started on all of this fuckery.
Meet Mrs. Genesis Cuesta. She's a GG12 making at least $104,000 per year, living in a swanky DC, working for the federal court services, and heartbroken that her telework rescinded. Okay.
Just gorgeous. Gorgeous. I like that it can be worn like summer, but also leading to like the cooler months.
I don't know. I don't think it's that bad to say you have to work from home. And to use parents as a shield? Parents?
I used to be a federal employee, and I'm going to tell you why I don't feel bad for federal employees being forced to come back into the workplace. I worked for the Army Corps of Engineers for almost a year, and the abuses that I saw by government employees was astounding and shocking. I worked as a realty specialist, and that is someone who manages government-owned land. So when farmers and ranchers lease land to graze cattle, we would manage that. When I was hired, my boss bragged that it was basically impossible to get fired from the federal government, and that in her entire time working for the government, she'd only seen one person fired, and that person assaulted a fellow employee, and she wasn't even fired for assaulting the employee at work. She was fired for lying about it because they caught it on camera. When I worked for the government, we were allowed to work 50% in the office and 50% from home, for the most part. In some cases, if you'd worked there, like I think over 10 years or something, you could actually work from home 3 days a week and work from the office 2 days a week.
Just like my wife, she worked 10 days for a normal job and she gets 1 day a week at work.
I use the word work very loosely. One employee spent his time remote working running his own farm. Another employee bragged about drunk driving and going out to lunch with her friends for margaritas when she was supposed to be remote working. No one would log into their computers, and you can see it because they're not on Teams, and no one ever checked. Ever. There's something called the 80-20 rule where 80% of the work in government is done by 20% of the people, and this is very, very true. People who get a job in the government a lot of times find out that it's very difficult to fire them, and they take advantage of this.
I think what people are forgetting that even in Spain, to counter that, they try to install a program on all the laptops to see how much you're moving and typing so they can judge you if you're working, if you're behind the PC. They had to cancel it because they realized, especially during the bad times a few years, that a lot of people didn't work a lot. That's why even the department that I was working at, they fired everybody because they were not productive.
One employee would come into the office, his start time would be 6:30, and he knew nobody would be there. And when I came in at 7:30 and I was the next person to come in, he was snoring at his desk every single morning. Another employee would take the government truck on an almost daily basis so that he could go out to lunch and then go and take a nap in his favorite park under a shady tree in the government truck. One of the very first things I did when I started working for the Corps, I spent 3 months cleaning up their real estate files room, which was a disaster. The government is using an antiquated system that was developed sometime in the 90s and using regulations that haven't been updated since the 90s to manage our dams and our government land. Our government is filled with the most incompetent and most lazy people and an occasional hard worker.
Does it make sense now that Trump wants an efficient government? They're going to fire a lot of people.
And those hard workers are severely punished every time they outwork their colleagues, because then the colleagues realize people will see that they're lazy and they don't want to have to work more. They're just buying time until they retire in almost every case. My point is some of our government organizations haven't been maintained or updated in so long that you basically need to create a new organization and start from scratch because there's almost no way to transfer it over. And there's so much red tape in between, it'll never get done. But I know that our government is inefficient because the people working for it are not doing what they need to do to take care of the rest of us. So no, I don't think government employees should get the benefit of working from home. If our government is not working for us, we shouldn't have to take years to do anything in a technological aid. They choose to take that long. That's a choice. So they can choose to do things faster and more efficiently, and then they can choose to get remote work back. I don't feel bad for them at all.
So in other words, ladies and gentlemen, anybody that works federally and they don't want to work at the office, they don't understand what they're doing to the whole system. And if they want to sacrifice that whole system because they want to work at home, I don't think there's a lot of reason that you can actually justify that for one person, the way some people are making a TikTok like, hey, you need to care about me because it's unfair. It's inhumane. Nah, man, it's actually inhumane what you're asking people to not do.
Don't get me wrong, ako sa kita bong Puta fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam turlo verde ta welcome